Welcome to The Explainer. So today, we're diving into what might literally be the ultimate time capsule. We are exploring Baghpat, this seemingly unassuming tiny district in Uttar Pradesh that somehow remarkably connects the epic mythology of the Mahabharata, the sudden discovery of 4,000-year-old chariots, and a modern-day ecological triumph that won a Nobel equivalent prize. It is a total treasure chest of history, so let's unpack it together. All right, let's just jump right in. We've got 5 main stops on this journey. The smallest tiger city, ground zero for the Mahabharata, rewriting ancient Indian history, the modern watermen of India, and wrapping up with the land of sugarcane. Okay, Section 1, the smallest tiger city, a tiny dot with a massive footprint. To really get a feel for Baghpat, you kinda have to know where it sits. We're talking western UP, hugging the east bank of the Yamuna River, just about 45 kilometers out from Delhi. It became its own independent district back in '97, carved right out of Meerut. And it's tiny, barely over 1,300 square kilometers. But here's the kicker, don't let that small physical size fool you. You've got roughly 1.3 million people packed into that space. It's a massive population for such a tiny geographical footprint, and honestly, that contrast is a perfect metaphor for the place itself. It's geographically small, but historically, it is incredibly heavy. So how exactly did it get the name Baghpat? Well, local lore actually points to this really cool 3-step linguistic evolution. First up, locals will tell you it was originally founded by the Pandava brothers and called Vyaghraprastha. That's Sanskrit for tiger city, mainly because back in antiquity the area was just this dense, wild forest totally packed with tigers. Fast forward to the Mughal era, and the name kind of shifts to Baghpat, supposedly inspired by the lush bogs, or gardens, they set up there. And then there's a third theory floating around that it actually comes from Vakyaprastha, meaning a place for delivering speeches. So you go from tiger-infested forests to manicured royal gardens to a hub for public speeches. Pretty wild linguistic ride, right? Moving on to Section 2, ground zero for the Mahabharata, the real estate negotiation that sparked a war. Now, if you think of this epic not just as ancient mythology, but as a seriously high-stakes real estate negotiation, it gets absolutely fascinating. Remember when Lord Krishna went to Hastinapur to negotiate for the Pandavas to try and stop a total catastrophic war? He wasn't asking for half the kingdom. He literally just asked for 5 specific villages: Indraprastha, Swanaprastha, Panaprastha, Rikasthala, and Vyaghraprastha. And yep, that last one is modern-day Baghpat. But Duryodhana, completely blinded by arrogance, famously refused to hand over even a needle point of land. That one stubborn refusal over this exact piece of real estate is what tipped the scales and triggered the entire Mahabharata war. Baghpat was literally the tipping point. And honestly, those mythological roots dig even deeper into the modern map today. Take Barnawa village, right there in the district. Local tradition strongly flags this as the site of Lakshagriha, the infamous House of Lac. That was the highly flammable, demonic palace built by the architect Maya, specifically ordered by Duryodhana to trap and burn the Pandavas alive during their exile. Plus, the district is also home to the Valmiki ashram. Locals believe this is the actual spot where goddess Sita lived in exile and gave birth to her twin sons Luv and Kush. They've even found ancient bricks with religious symbols there, and they still throw a massive festival every single year to celebrate the twins' birth. It's just incredible how these ancient epics map directly onto the modern geography. All right, on to Section 3, rewriting ancient Indian history, the Sonali archaeological bombshell. So pivoting from ancient mythology to hard, indisputable archaeology, the 2018 ASI excavations at Sonali dropped a total bombshell. What they dug up was actually the largest late Harappa necropolis ever found. We are talking royal burials estimated to be about 4,000 years old. And the stuff they found? Just staggering. Solid wheeled chariots, copper swords, and shields. They unearthed these stunning copper-plated anthropomorphic figures with horns and people leaf crowns, along with torso-shaped copper armor. There were even wooden coffins standing on legs completely wrapped in copper sheets. And later digs nearby pushed early Copper Age weapons like axes and arrowheads back to around 4,500 years ago. All of this points directly to a highly advanced warrior and metallurgical culture booming right there in the Ganga-Yamuna Doab region. So why is this such a big deal? Well, these Sonali discoveries essentially poured gasoline on a very intense, ongoing academic debate.
On one side of the fence, you have theories arguing for a Central Asian origin of chariot and warrior tech, which is often tied to the Aryan migration theory. But on the flip side, a lot of scholars are using these very Sonali findings to argue for an indigenous Indian origin for this technology. They're suggesting that these advanced warrior cultures and chariots were rolling around the subcontinent way earlier than previously believed. It's a massive, heated debate in historical circles, and ground zero for the physical evidence? It's right here in the dirt of Baghpat.
Section 4. The Modern Watermen of India, a Nobel Prize for Ecology. Okay, let's shift gears from the ancient Harappan dirt to something absolutely crucial today, modern water conservation. Specifically, we've got to look at Dollar Village. This is the birthplace of Rajendra Singh. Born in 1959, he's now famously known as the Waterman of India. And he earned that title by championing something called a johad. This is traditional ecological knowledge at its absolute best. A johad is basically just a small earthen check dam. It sounds incredibly simple, but it is highly effective at capturing rainwater and letting it slowly percolate down to recharge the groundwater. Through his NGO, Tarun Bharat Sangh, he actually used these exact traditional structures over in Rajasthan to restore groundwater levels and, get this, brought 5 completely seasonal rivers back to perennial year-round flowing status. Absolutely mind-blowing. His work is essentially a masterclass in community participation. It's taking ancient, traditional ecological know-how and applying it to our modern climate crises. And because of this monumental effort, he won the 2015 Stockholm Water Prize. For context, that is universally recognized across the globe as the Nobel Prize for Water. It's a colossal achievement, and it all started with a guy from a tiny village in Baghpat. It really goes to show that hyperlocal traditional solutions can literally have a world-saving impact. And finally, Section 5, the land of sugarcane, economy, demographics, and Jat identity. So who actually makes up Baghpat today? If we look at the 2011 census, the population is roughly 70% Hindu and 28% Muslim. But beyond the religious breakdown, what really defines the district socially is its strongly Jat-dominant demography. They live alongside significant populations of Yadavs, Gujars, and Dalits. And this Jat identity, it's crucial for understanding the area because it historically shapes local politics. It makes the region a traditional stronghold for agrarian-focused political parties like the Rashtriya Lok Dal, although, recent alliances are always shifting that political landscape around. Economically speaking, Baghpat proudly wears the crown as the land of sugarcane. Sugarcane, wheat, and mustard are really the engines driving the local wealth here. You've got these massive sugar mills in Baghpat, Ramallah, and Malikpur, employing thousands of people. And trade? That centers around a 200-year-old mandi, or market, originally set up by Jabita Khan, which really cemented the district's commercial identity. But what about the culture? It is heavily rooted in these awesome agrarian and martial traditions. Just picture it. Local akharas packed with guys doing kushti, traditional mud wrestling, while village fairs are echoing with ragini, which is this deeply loved regional melodic folk music. It is a really vibrant place. So to kind of wrap up its modern administrative reality with a few quick takeaways, the district officially formed in 1997. It's geographically defined by the vital Yamuna and Hindon rivers. It's got a literacy rate sitting at 72.01%, and currently its voice in the Lok Sabha is MP Rajkumar Sangwan. All in all, it is an agrarian powerhouse that's rapidly adapting to being right next door to Delhi, constantly balancing this ridiculously deep ancient past with the fast-paced demands of the modern national capital region. We've just seen how this one tiny district connects a mythological war, groundbreaking 4,000-year-old chariots, and modern Nobel-level water heroism, all crammed into barely 1,300 square kilometers, which really leaves us with one compelling thought to chew on. If all of that is hiding in Baghpat, what other ancient secrets and stories of ecological heroism are just waiting to be uncovered in these seemingly ordinary, tiny geographies all around us? Keep questioning, keep exploring, and we'll catch you in the next explainer.